Hey, everybody. What is up? My name is Nick. Welcome to Roll Coverage. I'm super excited to finally get this going. I'm going to be inviting some people on tonight. We're going to be talking some ball. I'm going to, of course, be talking about a lot of fantasy football, of course. But hey, I'm a little early, so let's go fart around on Twitter for a little bit. Let's go get this thing started. I'm going to put the first link in our StreamYard chat. So there it is. Boom. There we go. I am excited for the stream tonight. Obviously, there is a lot going on. Obviously, waiver wire is tomorrow morning. So we're going to be going over not only my sleepers, but of course my ESPN. That's why I got it up here. But hey, man, it is early. Let's hop over to here. Let's go see kind of what everybody is talking about. Of course, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, so shout out to that. Cannot wait. It is going to be a good one. Oh, it's going to be a good day. Let's go see what Mike K has been talking about. If you guys don't know, Mike K is one of the best beat reporters that the Carolina Panthers have, if I'm going to be honest with you. Mike K is a must follow. Obviously, he's got a lot of information on there all the time, so it is a must. I honestly thought about going over the Dan Morgan tape, but to be honest, I think there might be another option for us to go over too, and that's that Dave Canales interview. So we're going to go look at that as well later. Got a lot planned for you tonight. Hopefully you guys are ready. We'll be putting in at least an hour, possibly two. I did take an edible, so shout out to my wife for that. It's going to be a great one. Either way, just make sure you check out the comments, YouTube, and everything. There's a link down there if you want to be a part of it. Boom. UNC opens with a 14-point favorite over the Charlotte 49ers. Hilarious. I literally said it. I was in a meeting right beforehand, and I was like, man, UNC is about to get slapped, and it's going to be real, real bad. And, whoo, that was bad. UNC did not look like they were ready to play, and it showed. Jeez. That is a crazy line, though. Nobody thought that the UNC would be that bad. Come on. Nobody thought that this would be a reality. Are you kidding me? This 14 points UNC, you're killing me. Absolutely killing me. Oh, Jatire. Oh, he's off injured reserve with an injury settlement. Oh, no. So there goes more of our depth in Carolina. That is not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. This is terrible. Do not bet Carolina week 1. Depth guys already off the table. By the way, shout out to everybody showing up. I really appreciate you guys. It's going to be Carolina Panthers talk, of course, for now. But once I can get somebody in here, man, let's hop over to that fantasy football. Let's go get this thing going. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be a great night. In fact, let's start with the first one. Because if you guys don't know, I do 100. Yes, I said that right. 100 fantasy leagues every year. And this year, I've drafted the overwhelming majority of them. There's some that maybe one or two I need to, kind of pick up late. We'll actually get into my sleeper as well. Actually, shout out. I can put it on screen real quick. Boom. So you can even see my phone directly on screen. We'll literally go through all of my sleepers. I got a lot planned for you. There is so much to talk about, from waivers to be honest, where my teams are at. A lot of times I took guys like Quinshon Judkins, who hasn't even signed. So, pro tip, don't draft too early. Let's see this first one, though. Waiver order 5. This is roll coverage. That's what I name all of my teams. But let's move down here. Let's see what we're looking at. So, obviously, Caleb Williams, which I love. I think Caleb's really going to do well. Ben Johnson is obviously there. He gets top 20 at worst day play caller. I mean, to be honest, he's a top 10 play caller. Let's really have a conversation there. He made Sam Laporta, made Jared Goff look like a top flight quarterback, and now he gets Caleb Williams, the guy who was supposed to be the next Mahomes. There is a lot to say about Caleb so far, from the nails to the crying on the field. I mean, I got to believe, though. I really do. I really want the Chicago Bears to be a good franchise. And if you don't want what's best for the NFL. Chicago is one of those franchises that, man, you think about those old Bears teams, those defenses, that must have been electric to be a fan. Of course, I'm a Panthers fan, But man, the Bears have a lot to offer. I mean, here, just on this team alone, look at it. I got Caleb Williams. Go down a little bit longer. I got Colston Loveland too. That's a pretty solid start right there. Obviously, Ravens defense, I think, is going to do really well this year. I think the pairing of Colston Loveland and Caleb Williams is absolutely going to shake up a lot of fantasy leagues. I think it's going to be one of those winning formulas for sure. But then you go into the depth on this team. Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. Obviously, we know where I went early. Running back. Even my flex, Kyron Williams. Look at my bench. Omarion Hampton as well. And not only that, wide receivers, I got a lot, but we're not even going to get to them. So Omarion Hampton, Kyron, Derrick Henry, and Christian McCaffrey. I feel like that's a winning formula. But obviously that means you're punting on wide receivers. That's why I ended up with a guy like Marvin Harrison instead of a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Instead of a guy like, I don't even know at this point, JSN. Obviously I punted on guys like Malik Neighbors and stuff early with a Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry pick. But then you get down here, another possible league winner in Matthew Golden. Matthew looks great, if I'm going to be honest with you. Matthew looks like one of those dudes that is going to absolutely go out there and make me eat my words, because genuinely, I was not a Golden fan coming out of college. But once he got that number 0 jersey, man, I'm interested for sure. And not just that, but they just added Micah Parsons. You got to be joking me, right? You got to be joking me with this Green Bay Packers team. They finally got a wide receiver 1. After fighting through Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, I can't even remember all their multitude of wide receivers that are always perpetually hurt, it feels like. And now Matthew Golden, the final, I guess, offensive piece you guys really needed. A guy that can get separation down the field, stretch the field, but more importantly, stay healthy. That's one of the hardest things to do in the NFL. To be honest, my Panthers is dealing with that right now. Jalen Coker's out 4 to 6 weeks. He's not on this team, obviously, but that's currently what I'm dealing with. I mean, even coming down here, Tetaroa McMillan, questionable. Tetaroa is set to make his NFL opener in week 1 against the Jaguars, currently dealing with a hamstring injury, but should be able to make it on the field for the season opener. Aims to be Bryce Young's top option for this campaign. Obviously, we know Adam Thielen is gone as well. Adam's gone. That's going to hurt the team, right? But I don't know. We just brought in Hunter Renfrow. Obviously, the fan base loves Hunter Renfrow. Clemson guy, coming off the injury. I know I have the same concerns. But there's a scenario where a guy like Hunter Renfrow could actually give me 80% of what Adam gave me, which is just a security blanket for a young quarterback. Bryce Young has a lot of places to go, but this guy right here is going to have to be the way to do that. And a shaky Jags secondary is exactly the way to do it. Not only that, but the concern for a guy like Tetaroa was separation. Hopefully you can get separation against a guy like Travis Hunter. That's really the only secondary player I can think of for that team. This isn't the Jaguars of 10 years ago where they actually had crazy players on defense that you had to account for. Who do they have now? Josh Hines-Allen? Is that really what I'm worried about? I think they might have Travon Walker, but that's about it. I'm not writing home about any of those guys at all. I'm not worried about them. What I'm worried about is a guy like this, Tetaroa, getting his opportunity again, hopefully this week. But regardless, I think this is a solid start. Do I think Caleb is really my best option at quarterback? No. I think I could have gone a different place. And to be honest, where I drafted, even my depth, I love Hampton, of course, but he will be sharing with J.K. Dobbins at some point, regardless of what the eye is going on. Zay Flowers, again, I love Zay Flowers, but really, he's going to be possibly a 2. I also really believe in Rashad Bateman, but if Lamar is going to go towards a Super Bowl, Zay Flowers is going to have to eat. So that's kind of why he's on this team. Of course, my number 1 go-get-him guy is Emeka Egbuka. I know that, again, I'm a Carolina fan, and my number 1 go-get-him is a Buck. I'm sorry, man. It's just because Chris Godwin is hurt. It's going to take him a little bit to come back to full health, even if he can get back to that. And Mike Evans at this point always deals with something. Not just that, but Emeka just returned to his college number of number 2. Emeka is going to put a team on notice at some point. He's absolutely going to have a game where he's got 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the Bucs obliterate them because of a guy like that. So he's my go-to. Jaden Higgins, same thing. Tank Dell out. Nico's there, obviously. Jalen Noel behind him. So that he's got a little bit of concern. But again, Jaden Higgins, big, huge wide receiver. I understand it's 9.7, 6'4", 215. He's Tedarella McMillan, basically. And they got him a little bit later than where they did. But again, the one guy ahead of him, Christian Kirk. I still don't believe in Christian Kirk, though, so I'm sorry. I believe in Jaden Higgins a lot more than I believe in Christian Kirk. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But obviously, this first week, they're playing the Rams. Are you getting the healthy Matthew Stafford Rams? Because if that's the case, then Kyron's probably going to run quite a bit. That means Jaden Higgins probably has to get a bunch of balls along with Christian Kirk and Nico Collins to keep Houston in this game. They're going to have to, go out there and let the horses run kind of thing. So that's going to be the only way I see them winning that. Same thing with the next game. Tyler Warren, Indianapolis, goes to Miami or plays Miami. They're playing them at home, so obviously it's in the dome. But Tyler Warren has Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson throwing him the ball. That is not a good answer. That's not a good answer for a young tight end. I mean, I guess I could say that about Jared Goff last year with Sam Laporta, and look what happened with that. And then I guess AOC it was Gardner Minshew and Brock Bowers. So that's an interesting one. Maybe Tyler Warren is a top flight one. Either way, he's my depth. I got Colston Loveland there. He does say 9.9, so maybe I do play him. I don't know. I just like the Caleb Colston stack. I'm going to keep going back to that. A lot of these teams that you're going to see today are going to have that as an option. And of course, Cedric Tillman, a great wide receiver for Cleveland. I'm just concerned about who's throwing him the ball. Same thing that I'm going to have a concern with a lot of these guys. Who's going to throw him the ball? Cleveland's probably going to be behind a lot. But man, I really like him. Yeah, he dealt with a thumb. I was trying to remember why I don't remember him playing in one of the preseason games, and maybe that was it. It was the thumb. Okay. So interesting choice here. Obviously, I went pretty wide receiver heavy. I have 4 running backs for it with a team like this. So to be honest, I'm not really worried about that running back depth. If Christian McCaffrey goes down, that sucks. If more than 2 of these guys go down, which to be honest, I could see all 4 of them going down if I'm going to be honest with you, I could be in a real pickle. But I have to believe that a guy like Christian McCaffrey, again, former Panther, just stays healthy. Obviously, I'm playing the odds on that one, but you got to hope and pray, right? Got to hope and pray. Let's see if I can see what available players there are. See what people really have options in this league. If there's any. Oh, Bill. Bill is running back number 3. I'm not sure if you saw the depth chart come out. Running back number 3. Ollie Gordon. 7 points is way too low for that. Jalen Wright might not play. And if he does, it's going to be Achane. So you're going to be behind Achane. I genuinely believe like Ollie Gordon's a long-term pickup. To be honest, if I ran into an issue with a running back going down, I'd probably have to go with one of these guys. Jaden Blue has the option. He's, again, running back 3. Algier would be a good pickup for a lot of guys. Algier is going behind Bijan, and I think it was last year. No, it was 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? When he was vulturing all those touchdowns? That was the year to have Algier, and I think, to be honest, it could return. And then, look, Christian Kirk's over here. You know who's not out here? Jaden Higgins. So that's an interesting one. Zach Ertz. I really like Zach Ertz as well. In fact, I just drafted one where I went Jaden and have Zach Ertz. And to be honest, in that league, I also have Terry McLaurin. So I really went big into the Commanders. But I won't touch this guy. I don't see what you guys are seeing in Bill. I just don't. Especially being running back 3. I don't have it. I don't. Eckler's ahead of him. I can't even remember who the 2 is. Jeremy McNichols. Oh, no. 2. It's Christian Rodriguez. I'm sorry. Christian Rodriguez is ahead of him. My bad. I think McNichols is the 4. So, yeah. It's just not a guy that I would touch. Keenan Allen, I wouldn't touch at this point. Xavier's the interesting one, especially because he's essentially wide receiver 2 in Carolina. But when I have Tedarella, I don't really feel the need to double on those wide receivers. I need a guy like Bryce Young to really take that next step forward and make that Tedarella pick make more sense for me. That would make me happy, not having to deal with the rest of it. Let's go back over here. I'm going to close this. Oh, and then it refreshes, of course. Oh, this is going to be a pain in the butt tonight. Let's see. Move to the next team. Oh, you can see a trend, huh? Look at that quarterback, tight end, Colston Loveland, Caleb Williams. Man, it's going to be like that for a lot of these. I'm going to be honest with you. I really, really like him coming out. Obviously, another familiar face down here as well. You probably can't see it. Emeka Egbuka, making sure he's on here. Jaden Higgins again. And you know what? There's a league winner right there. Kyle Pitts. Just kidding, of course. I mean, this one's a solid one. Again, Christian McCaffrey, that Bucky Irving turn, I really, really like. If I could have redone this draft, I probably would have went Bucky, and then you go another wide receiver. Actually, I guess that turn, first turn. So, yeah, I was first turn here. Christian McCaffrey, Bucky was that. Had to be, right? How did I end up with all three of these? All three of these guys are like within 8 picks of each other on a normal basis. I don't know how I pulled that off, if I'm going to be honest with you. That's a really nice one. Can't believe I'm discovering something about my fantasy team right now. Flex is also RJ Harvey. Love that for me. Mecca is over him at Atlanta. You know, Tampa's a hard favorite. I've got to go down a little bit. Tampa's a hard favorite against Atlanta for some reason. And then Carolina is a favorite against Atlanta in week 3. I don't know who these odds makers are, but I want what they're smoking for sure. Now, when we look at this team, though, I got to look at it through a different lens. Most of these things are PPR on here. So guys like Brian Thomas Jr., Jackson Smith, and Jigba are going to eat up. RJ Harvey's going to eat up. Christian McCaffrey's pretty much their entire offense at this point. Okay, Jay Ferrardo, we got our first comment. Shout out to you, bro. Trade James Conner and T. Higgins for Chase Brown. Need help, guys. Fajardo, are you trading Conner and T. Higgins for Chase Brown? If so, I would be happier with that trade. If you are getting rid of Chase Brown for James Conner and T. Higgins, I don't love that for you. I'm not going to lie. I don't love that for a lot of reasons. Let me put it on screen. Yeah, I don't love this if it's you getting rid of Chase Brown. If you're going to get Chase Brown, yeah, if you're going to get him, go get Chase Brown. If it's not, and you're getting rid of a guy like James Conner and T. Higgins for him, that's worth it. But I don't love James Conner this year, genuinely. I don't know why, and especially with T. Higgins, it doesn't make sense. You're basically swapping the wide receiver for the running back. So yeah, I would go with whatever gets you Chase Brown. Absolutely, whatever gets you Chase Brown. I don't love James Conner. I mean, to be honest, I wish I could get my buddy on here, Ryan. And Ryan would be able to give you a fantastic thing about Chase Brown. In fact, let's go look him up. Boom. Yeah, he plays for the Bengals, dude. Let's go. First of all, let's look at news, see if there's anything crazy. Okay, no injury news. I didn't think so. I didn't see him on the injury report today. Last season, 229 for 997 touchdowns. I do like that. I can also pull up James Conner as well. We'll do that after this. Receiving, 54 targets. That's fantastic. And again, that's even in a Joe Burrow offense that didn't have a good defense last year. Still not going to have a good defense this year. Offense is a little better, but And then I'll also pull up James Conner real quick, just because I'm not a James Conner fan. I'm sorry. Oops. Conner. My bad. James Conner, 30, first of all. I mean, I say that, but I'm a Nick Chubb fan. Let's pull those stats up. And I'll get to yours real quick. Jason, give me 1 second. Yeah, I mean, I love the 2,000 yards, the twos. It could be really something, but to be honest, I really feel like Arizona is going to air it out this year. I feel like they're going to try and justify a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. more than anything. And then, you know what? While you guys are here, I'm going to pull the schedule up, because if that's the question, let's see. Next question, Jason. Pollard, Swift, Judy. Judy for sure. For freaking sure. When it comes to the next one, okay, who the Titans playing? I just did this earlier. I don't know why I don't know this off the top of my head, and why I can't see it in front of my face. Okay, so they're at Denver. Against that Denver defense, Tony Pollard, I don't love. But at the same time, the Bears are at Minnesota. So, yeah, Swift, Judy. That's my official one for this. Swift, Judy, for sure. One, because the running back room for the Bears, Swift's going to be running back one as well. So he's going to get a lot of the runs. He's going to get a lot of the dump passes. And if it's anything indicative from what Ben Johnson did with the Lions, Swift should be involved in that on a pretty regular basis. The rumors that Roshan might be the guy instead of on those weird plays, but I genuinely think you shouldn't worry about that. Go Judy, Swift. And the second one, DJ Moore, Waddle, Warren, Chubb. Chubb's the starter for the Texans, and it's going against the Rams. So to be honest with you, that's not going to be a start for me. Jaylen Warren, though, plays for Pittsburgh now, right? 95% sure. Yeah. I don't love Jaylen Warren, but they're playing the Jets. I guess, okay, if you could start two, and it doesn't have to be running back and wide receiver, I'd probably start, geez, this is a tough one. Definitely start Waddle. Waddle always seems to get a bunch, and then it's really another one. Jaylen Warren could be a good start for you, but Najee Harris really didn't have a ton of target share in general when it came to last year, so that gives me a bit of concern. At the same time, I'm also not believing in a guy like Aaron Rodgers right now. So for that reason, I'm kind of out on most of Pittsburgh. So that would give me pause with that. If, to be honest, DJ Moore, Waddle, I can't justify the Nick Chubb one strictly because they're playing the Rams at home. And that Rams defense is no joke. So yeah, as long as you're fading Chubb, the three are kind of a toss-up. It kind of depends on where you feel like Chicago is this year. Because if Chicago's any good, DJ Moore is going to go off. For sure. By the way, appreciate the question. And I'm going to make sure I put down in the comments. Oops, sorry. I got to get off the camera to make sure I can see the chat. I'm putting it in the chat down there. Oops. Make sure you guys go to the chat below. I'll put it right here really quick. I'm always going to keep dropping it in the chat. If you guys want to come on here and talk, I'll make sure to add you in. It'll put you somewhere on the top. And then we could talk about this as well. So if you guys want to come on here, by all means. Next one, 10-man full PPR. Okay, good. Thinking about trading Mahomes as my league mate has Jaden Daniels. I have Dak, starting with my wide receivers being BTJ, CD, Pearsall, and DK. Thinking about trading DK straight up or keep Dak rest of season. This is a genuinely good question. So 10-man full PPR, that means you're starting BTJ for sure. You're starting CD every week. Pearsall's coming in on those off weeks. I hope you have decent running backs for sure. So this way you don't have to depend on DK, because genuinely I don't love, again, going back to what we were just talking about with Jaylen Warren, I don't love the Steelers. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just the weird guy and I'm out on Aaron Rodgers when everybody else seems to be in. But there seems to be a little bit of a groundswell with that. I genuinely think there's something to say when it comes to Pearsall. He's going to be wide receiver one, even though Jawan Jennings did get cleared for practice. I'm like 95% sure. So yeah, I would, for this one, I would not trade for... if you're trading for Mahomes, I wouldn't go after Mahomes, because to be honest with you, the Dallas Cowboys without Micah Parsons are going to be here. Let me get this off screen so I can see. If you're going after a guy like Patrick Mahomes, have a good pairing with him. If you had Travis Kelce on your team, or you had Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, I'm 100% down for you going and getting a guy like Patrick Mahomes. But you already have a fantastic stack. You have two guys, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, on a Dallas team that has no Micah Parsons, which means they are now the Cincinnati Bengals of that division. There is an argument right now to be had about, are the Giants better than the Cowboys? Which means the Cowboys are going to have to fire on all cylinders. Guys like George Pickens, guys like CeeDee Lamb, and of course the guy throwing him the ball, Dak Prescott, are going to be fantasy diamonds this year. I genuinely think that if you have a guy like CD, do not jettison a guy like Dak. If you were going and telling me maybe you were getting Jaden Daniels, especially if this is Dynasty or something like that, that would make more sense. But Patrick Mahomes is 29 now, I'm pretty sure. So he's already at 30. I understand that that's still young, but that's not in a place where like a Jaden Daniels is. And of course, Dak is also 30, but that CD stack is something that can't be ignored. It's maybe the same thing if you had, God, I'm trying to think of another guy. If you had like Jamar and Burrow, I wouldn't trade the stack. I would just stick with that stack, period, because regardless of where people want to kind of land on it, CD is like 99% of what Jamar Chase 95% of the time. I guess that's kind of a double negative, whatever it is. But you get what I'm trying to say. He's right there. There might only be a few moments where a guy like Jamar Chase is truly better than a guy like CD. So for that, just keep the stack. That's where I'm gonna stick with that one. I just can't. Don't roll deck. Ooh, this is a good one. Appreciate. We'll get to this one real quick, Xavier, and then I'll get to Jason's real quick, Xavier, and then we'll come back to yours. Jason, who should I start at tight end? My only weak spot, I got Jake Fergie, Cowboys for now. I got Fields as my quarterback, so maybe Mason Taylor. I don't know. I don't want Okonkwo or Loveland if I start Swift and Pollard. Okay, I see what you're saying about not wanting. If you're starting Swift and Pollard, you don't want to stack that. Okay, that's fair. Fair, by the way. Mason Taylor. I don't know where I'm at on Mason Taylor yet. To be honest, if you're betting on a guy like Mason Taylor, you're betting that a guy like, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm trying to put his name. Aaron Glenn is going to turn him into Sam Laporta. You're betting that he learned a bit with Ben Johnson when they were in Detroit together and something like that. I personally am, like I said before, big in on Loveland, but Fergie and the Cowboys or Fields and Mason Taylor. I would say Fields and Mason Taylor. I'm going to be honest with you. Mason Taylor right here, look at that. He's playing Pittsburgh. So if they're going to be able to come back in this game and Justin Fields is worth anything, he's going to have to keep getting that ball to his tight end. He's going to have to. He's not going to have a choice. Garrett Wilson's going to have to go up against, remember, Pittsburgh's got a new secondary. Let's go look at that depth chart real quick. Look at that secondary. Darius Slay, Joey Porter, and Jalen Ramsey. They're not going to be able to put either of those three guys on a guy like Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor's going to be assisting in the block game a lot, though. So that's where I feel like you're possible diminishing returns when it comes to this question. So here I'm going to say Mason Taylor because I feel like the ball's going to Pickens and all those other guys. Don't get me wrong. Fergie could probably still put up 9, 10, 12 points, maybe even a touchdown. But I guess I'm just going to try and trust Justin Fields and Mason Taylor here, especially because you don't want to double stack. And if you're willing to double stack, or put Loveland in there. Put Loveland in there for sure. Let's see what he says. I have Cook, Henderson, Pacheco, Caleb, and Mason on bench. Okay. Trevion Henderson is a for sure start for me. I'm assuming Cook, you mean the guy from the Bills, whose name is escaping me right now. James Cook. Pacheco, I like. That could be your 1, 2, 3. Throw the Pacheco in the flex, especially because they're going to have to run the ball this year. They're not going to be able to shell people. So that's a really interesting one right there. But yeah, for sure. Start Cook, start Henderson. If you have enough depth at wide receiver that you feel more comfortable taking like a different player over a Pacheco, then do that. Otherwise, 3 running backs isn't bad. By the way, appreciate you, Xavier. Start Dak for Thursday Night Football or start T-Law. Okay, so first of all, I'll leave the T-Law one for the second half of this because I'm a Carolina fan, so I've got a little bit of an opinion on that. When it comes to Dak, you guys are playing the Eagles. They have a really crazy secondary too. I would play Dak. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to play Dak. The reason why I say that is because Dallas cannot, and here, I'm going to take this off the screen so it's where you can see me. Dallas cannot win a single game by running the ball. They're going to have to throw the shit out of that ball. So if you, again, have a guy like CD or even just Dak in general, he is going to have massive trade value, like massive. So definitely go with a Dak over a T-Law. The reason why I say Dak over T-Law, obviously Jacksonville's at home. Jacksonville's head coach, Liam Cohen. What did Liam Cohen do a buku? Now, don't get me wrong. The Bucs are still the Bucs, so they're still going to throw a lot out of that ball. But Liam Cohen made it a point to make a guy like Bucky Irving the focus. Who is his running back room now? I'm not going to mess this up this time. Travis Etienne. I always say Trevor. Travis Etienne. Bishal Tootin, who's the running back 3. And, of course, Tank Bigsby, running back 2. I feel like Jacksonville can get in a situation early where they're going to be able to run the ball more. Don't get me wrong. A guy like BTJ is still going to eat, and there will be some other opportunities for whoever their tight end is now, whatever that is. I wouldn't start T-Law because, again, I think there's more of a chance that the ball gets taken out of his hands and they run the ball to make sure that he doesn't lose the game. So, yeah, definitely start Dak. For this original question, let me put it back up. Definitely start Dak here over T-Law. I don't have any qualms about that. Next one. Start Jake. He got paid, and I heard the boys love throwing to tight ends against the Eagles. If that's the case, can't hurt. Because, again, Mason Taylor, you're really hoping. Going back to that original question, it was Fergie over Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor, you're really, really hoping that they're behind, and a guy like Garrett Wilson is so covered that Mason Taylor's a guy that has to be the one to kind of win them. Fergie's a safer pick, I guess. I really like investing in rookies. There's so much potential there, but I could be a year early on Mason Taylor, and he could be one of those guys that ends up with, like, say, 400 receiving yards on the year. So, yeah, if that's the case, and they're going to prefer to throw to tight ends, definitely start Fergie, man. Okay, let's see this. Draft grade, shout out Juan Pena. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, Charbonnet, Scatabo, Trevion. Okay, I'll break this down into 2 pieces. 1, running back. I like Jonathan Taylor. Don't love him. I like Josh Jacobs. Don't love him. Nick Chubb looks like he's going to be the starter at least 6 to 8 weeks, so that's a good pickup. Charbonnet makes sense. Scatabo, I don't like. I'm kind of avoiding. But Trevion Henderson is going to be the big one. So in this one, for me, I like the running back room. I like the depth. I do feel like after Trevion, who would be your running back 3 here, you do kind of fall off quite a bit because Chubb hopefully is back to what he was. But at the same time, I can't guarantee that. Charbonnet's the backup. Scatabo, I don't love. Like I said, I'm a Tyrone Tracy guy, but I also think they're not going to need to run the ball a whole lot. So that's an interesting one. Wide receivers. You are very thin at wide receiver, in my opinion. Jordan Addison, I like, but he's not going to be come back until at least week 7, serving that 6-game suspension. Cooper Kupp, I actually do like, wide receiver 2. Devontae Adams, I do like, wide receiver 2. Christian Kirk, wide receiver 2. Jonathan Downs is 2, I think, on his team as well. Debo. So you basically got a bunch of wide receiver 2s. If you're starting this right now, you're starting Kupp and Adams for sure. I wouldn't start Christian Kirk. I wouldn't start Downs or any of those guys. And then, of course, Kittle, Murray, I like it. Overall grade, B+ for sure. If I had to give you like a number grade, I'm going to give you like an 86. I say 86 because I feel like there was somebody more interesting than maybe Christian Kirk at that time. But then again, I can't remember his ADP right off the top of my head. I really like the Kyler Murray and George Kittle. I do think those are going to be 2 massive league winners for sure. And there's definitely an opportunity down the road for maybe a trade, depending on what happens with Charbonnet, Chubb, and with other teams for sure. So, yeah, I like this. There's a lot of potential. You're just hoping that guys like Kupp and Adams can really show you what they were doing before, because if they come out here and this is a 600 receiving yard season, then you are going to really suffer in that wide receiver room. So also look out on the market. Make sure you're checking the waiver wire for those guys. I would recommend a guy like Torrey Horton. Apparently he's already wide receiver 2 for the Seahawks. If you're able to snake up him, or there's a bunch of other ones. Kyle Williams could be an interesting one. You're really hoping for those boomer bust guys. Or if you can get lucky, Jalen Coker. He'll be back 4 to 6 weeks for my Carolina Panthers, and he'll be the slot receiver for that team. So that'll be an interesting one. But yeah, 85, 86 would be my grade for this one, man. Solid team. I definitely think you could win at least 9 games this year in your fantasy league, at least. Should I trade Cup or Addison for a star receiver? No, I'm going to be honest. I don't think you should. I think you should kind of play it out. Play it out and see what happens. There's a potential for you to really turn it around. There's, again, you go back to that team. I'll put it back up on screen real quick. I don't think the Cup or Addison trade is worth it because unless you're getting a top flight number one wide receiver, or unless you're getting a Matthew Golden, or unless you're getting a Mecca Egbuka, a Tataroa, somebody that maybe hasn't proven themselves, then sure. But even then, you're hoping that a rookie is going to be able to outperform the former Triple Crown winner, the former 18 touchdown receiver in Devontae Adams or whatever it was. So no, I would keep it for now. I would definitely watch it though. See if there's anybody that you can snake out there to make that wide receiver room just a tiny bit better. And if I'm going to be honest, on this team, Downs is probably on the out, or Kirk. One of those two would be the two, because I do think Debo has some trade value, or actually has some fantasy value, in general. Let's move up to this next one. Yeah, I like Taylor. He seems good, but again, you're hoping that upside with Justin Fields and everything like that. You're hoping. It's whereas Ferg, kind of like what they pointed out before, Ferg is probably a bit more proven, so that's a bit safer of a pick. Yeah, absolutely a toss-up, by the way. Shout out Jason. Shout out everybody being in here. Appreciate you. Let me make sure I put it back in the comments for you guys. Boom. There we go. Let me make sure I double delete it because I always mess it up. Oops. Sorry, I'm going to go back here. Oops. This is my first time getting it all set up, and my camera is literally right in front of the chat, so I can't see it. Okay, let's go back to Jason's questions. Thoughts on this team? 10 team PPR, start 9, QB Fields. Okay, I like Fields. I don't love him, but I like him. Barkley, I like. Kyren, okay. Hold on. You only have 2 running. Oh, I'm sorry. You have extra running backs down there. I thought you literally only had 2 running backs. Barkley, Kyren, Pollard, Swift, I like. Terry, London, Sutton, Judy, Myers, Fergie. Dude, this is nice. This is a 90. I'm going to be honest with you. I shouldn't have said 90. It's not a 90. It's an 89. It's an 89 because you're betting on Justin Fields. So many people are out on him. I understand why. I think Aaron Glenn is a bit of why they did so well. And for the Lions, obviously he's the former DC for the Lions. I think he's going to change stuff a lot for Fields. But again, you're betting on that. You're truly betting on that. If you could make a trade for a quarterback, I would maybe think about it depending on how this first game goes. If Fields comes out here with, 200 yards, 1 pick, no touchdowns, I'd probably make a trade at quarterback. Maybe put a guy like Scary Terry. I see you got that. Scary Terry and Fields for somebody else. But to be honest, I really like this team. I really like your wide receivers. To be honest, I've put Terry McLaurin to the side already in my brain. I'm looking at Drake London, Sutton, Judy, and Myers. 4 wide receivers that are absolutely going to get a ton of work this year. It's going to be awesome to see for sure. But yeah, 89 for me, man. Fantastic draft. You really did good. Let's do Big Rice Ball draft grade for my work league. Superflex PPR. Okay, Superflex, just in case you don't know, you can run 2 quarterbacks in most leagues. So if that's the case, you only have 1 quarterback, right? Is my brain? Oh, T-Law is your second one. Okay, I'm sorry. So you have 2 quarterbacks. Okay, that's worth it. Lamb, I like. Fantastic pickup there. Bucky's a great one. I like Hampton. DJ Moore, Sutton, RJ Harvey, Dak. Oh, there you go. You got 3. Yeah, you're good. Oh, dude, you really cooked. You really cooked in this one. JD5. Oh. Yeah, dude, to be honest, I really like this. This one's got a lot of potential for sure. So you have the stack of Dak and Lamb. You have good running backs. You've got depth. Yeah, man, I feel like you really cooked this. ETN as well. Ford and Taylor, or not Ford and Taylor. Ford and Mason, I don't really care about. They're just kind of You're really hoping at that point. But everybody else on here, you really did a great job. To be honest, this is my first 90 plus. This is a 91 for sure. You really genuinely, if this is a keeper league, by the way, or a dynasty, by the way, you cooked the shit out of them. just getting Dak and Lamb, like I said, I'm going to keep talking about it. I think you really did good. Down here, you did say it is a 12 team. So shout out to that. He said his last pick was Brenton Strange. That's funny. Yeah, you have Tyler Warren. You don't really care about that. I'm going to be honest with you. Tyler Warren's going to be your starting tight end for a while. This is a 91. You really cooked. This is an A+ or an A-, I guess. A-, yeah. Okay, Jason. Thoughts on second team, 10 teams, start 9. Again, Fields, I have the same concerns. Don't need to keep dragging that up. Ginty, I like. Ginty, I've gotten a bunch of my leagues. In fact, I did one of my leagues that we'll see later on my sleeper where Ginty, of course, Big Rice Ball, shout out. Where I put up Ginty in a dynasty league, 32-team dynasty league, by the way, because I'm a big fan of 32-team leagues. That's just my thing. And I got Ginty in mine. And I've just asked people to send out trades, and I got the most ridiculous trade offers. That was hilarious. But back to this one. Again, I'm going to have my same concerns about Fields. If your Fields is your quarterback, you can't have more than a 90. So your maximum is 89. You do have 2 good running backs. Bench. James Cook, fantastic backup running back. I love that. So you have 3 really good running backs. St. Brown, Tet. I love Tet, of course, Panthers fan. Njoku, Jalen Warren, Cup, Pittman. I don't like Pittman at all. So that one you're kind of screwed on. But Jalen Warren, same thing. You're kind of hoping that what's his name? Oops. You're kind of sorry. I was just checking. It said my connection was unstable. Sorry. Yeah, I like this. Oh, hopefully it doesn't disconnect. Just disconnected from my phone. Whatever. Yeah, I like this. This is an 89. James Cook, Waddle, solid depth. My only concern is Fields. I feel like St. Brown's going to do well, of course, even though with Ben Johnson left, that doesn't really matter to him. DJ Moore, same thing. Still wide receiver 1 there. Roma Dunze hasn't taken a step forward, and Luther Burden's going to take at least a year to get it all together. I like this. 89 for sure. That Fields thing, like I said, week 1, he comes out and throws me more than 225 yards and gives me more than a touchdown. No picks. I'm back on the Fields train, but I just want to see it once. That's all I'm asking. Just one time. But yeah, shout out, Jason. I appreciate that team. I like what you're doing. And you've really got potential. Ginty, Kamara, James Cook are a crazy 3 running back. That's a great pickup there. Commanders released their running back depth. Yep, Rodriguez is ahead of that. JCM worth picking up. Christian Rodriguez. I personally, I don't know. They say that he's ahead of him, but is he really? Like, genuinely. I'm not a big Bill fan, so I'll be 100% upfront about that. But I'm not a Chris Rodriguez. I almost called him Christian Rodriguez. Chris Rodriguez fan either. I don't think he's anybody to write home about. I don't think he's a league winner. I don't think Bill's a league winner unless Austin Eckler goes down. Of course, Austin Eckler has his issues, but I don't think we really remember this Commanders team being a run-first team. Of course, they ran the ball quite a bit, but it was really putting it in Jaden Daniels' hands that made that team special. So if you're going out and getting a guy like Bill or JCM, whatever you want to call him, I would proffer you to maybe take a look at a guy like Ollie Gordon. I would tell you to go look at Tyler Algier or guys like that. Those 2 guys that really have a higher upside. Because if you're going for a guy like Bill or you're going with a guy like Chris Rodriguez, you're genuinely just betting, just like with Ollie Gordon, that the starter gets hurt or the starter has an issue or something like that. So I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, in my opinion. Beginning of the season, teams tend to put vet running backs ahead in the depth chart. Oh, there they go. Not too crazy of news. Crod/JCM should be ahead of just, pass catching Eckler. Yeah, I completely understand that. Speaking of, if you guys don't know, I put it in the chat. If you guys want to come on here and talk, by all means, follow the link, and you guys can come on and we'll talk some ball. This was the one where he said Brent Strange. Yeah, Brent is not going to be a good player this year, in my opinion. I'm out on him. I don't really care. Let's see. Yeah, I took Fields as my last pick. Also hoping for 15 a week. Yep, that's good. 15 would be enough to justify Justin Fields, and it would be a really good roster. You'll win a bunch of games, dude, for sure. His ceiling can go up to 25 with his legs. 100% agreed. He's always been a good / decent in fantasy, 100%, 100%. And you're like I said, with a guy like Justin Fields, you're hoping that a guy like I keep going back to that, but Aaron Glenn is going to change things for the Jets. Like all of a sudden they're going to turn it on, and that could be the case. That could not be the case. We're going to find out obviously soon. That first game though, you do have the best possible chance to prove that Justin Fields is it by just beating this, in my opinion, subpar Steelers team. Because if that's the case, you could really set this team on a really crazy like train, essentially. Shout out to newly deceased Rock God. He touched a lot of people. Shout out. But yeah, I feel like this is a loss for Pittsburgh in week 1, and I really genuinely hope it is, because I want to see Aaron Rodgers decline so bad. So bad. Putting my pettiness aside, let's see. Would you trade Kupp, Addison, Scatabo, and Chubb for Brian Thomas Jr.? If somebody took that trade, take it and run. Absolutely. But you're giving away, just so you know, the arguable. I mean, I guess if Torrey Horton's doing so well, that means Kupp isn't. So I guess that means he's wide receiver 3. So I guess maybe now would be the time to shop him. Let me look at that depth chart real quick, because he's definitely on the Seahawks. Yeah, look, Horton. Oh, Cooper Kupp's the 1, 2. He is the 2. Somebody said recently that Horton has been the guy. Oh, maybe he's getting the wide receiver 2 snaps. Whatever. I like this. Ooh, I forgot. Yes, I would get rid of Cooper Kupp. Like I said, I believe in Torrey Horton, so I'm going to take that. Addison's the clear wide receiver 2, but that's assuming that a guy like J.J. McCarthy is actually the quarterback of the future. Cam Scatabo is the running back 2, quote unquote, behind Tyrone Tracy. He could be the running back 1, but I don't really believe that. And then, of course, Chubb's going to be the starter for the Texans for at least the first 6 weeks. If he'll take that trade, yeah, go get Brian Thomas. I would not trade Brian Thomas for those 4 players, though. 100% honest with you. I would delete the trade the minute I saw it. There's absolutely no way I'm taking that trade. But again, if you can go finesse somebody, go finesse them. And make sure that you screenshot that and send it to me. DM it to me. That would be legit. And let's see the next one. By the way, shout out to everybody coming by. I really appreciate you guys. This is just the first live stream of the year. Very excited for it. Very excited to see what the year is going to kind of put out there. And of course, everything with fantasy. I've got 100 teams, a literal 100 teams. That's why I kind of set this live stream up. I want to go through them. I want to set those lineups and, of course, answer all y'all's questions. Of course, fantasy is a crazy place, and loving 32 teams is kind of what makes me different, I guess, in that sense. I am just, man, I'm ready. I'm genuinely ready for this. Now to answer your question, Xavier. Thoughts on DK Metcalf? I don't believe in this roster. I'm going to be honest with you. In fact, I'm probably going to clip this. So, shout out, Xavier. You'll be on my YouTube. I don't believe in this Steelers offense. I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers. Jalen Warren's a decent running back. Sure. Caleb Johnson's decent. Kenneth Gainwell's a fine running back 3. But really, the wide receiver room falls apart after the first thing, DK Metcalf. So DK is going to have to be fed akin to what the Carolina Panthers did with Adam Thielen last year. Yeah, it was last year. So there's a potential for DK to really be crazy fantasy-wise. I'm expecting him to get a majority of the touchdowns, unless they're within the 5, in which case they're probably going to go running back. I like the offensive line. They got Zach Frazier, a guy that I wanted for my Carolina Panthers so bad. But you're hoping and praying that Aaron Rodgers is going to turn back the clock. Even last year, he only had 20 touchdowns, so you didn't really get a massive upgrade. And to be honest, I feel like you guys jettisoned Justin Fields, a guy I've been kind of shit-talking this whole time. But I don't really hate it. I don't hate DK Metcalf. I have more of a concern about the Steelers' offense and the Steelers' response than anything else. Imagine they come out of this game, okay? And this is why the NFL is all about narratives and why that affects fantasy. if New York comes into this game and Justin Fields handily beats the Pittsburgh Steelers, this roster is going to have to hear about it every single day. And that's going to affect a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who constantly feels like everybody's so critical of him. Now, don't get me wrong. When we come back to this defense, I mean, I can't lie. I wanted Peyton Wilson. They have Darius Slay, Joey Porter, and Jalen frickin' Ramsey for that. Blows my mind. So I can't expect teams to really bomb on them. But we got a Cam Hayward that's kind of on the other side. Yaya Black I really like. If you guys haven't seen him, of course, Patrick Queen, TJ Watt, you guys got those. Derek Harmon, I think they said was going to play. Will not play against the Jets. So your rookie, Derek Harmon, that you took in the second round is not going to play. I believe in the defense more than I believe in the offense. But the defense is going to have to keep this close. So to answer your question, I believe in him fantasy-wise. I don't believe in him to bet him fantasy-wise. In fact, when we come back to here, let me go back to fantasy. When we go to all of my teams, one of the things that you'll not see, here's another team. You know what you're not going to see on any of these teams is DK Metcalf. I'm just checking just to make sure this isn't the one team that I was, too high and decided to draft him. But yeah, I won't draft him at all. In 100 leagues, I do not have DK Metcalf. He's one of the guys I avoid with all of my salt. I don't know why. Again, I think it's genuinely just my disdain of a guy like Aaron Rodgers. But at the same time, I can't deny DK. I can't deny how good he is. I can't deny any of that. The dude's electric. Dude's huge too. Crazy fast. Got great hands. It's really everything you're asking in a wide receiver. It's just who's throwing you the ball. That's kind of why in a lot of my leagues I faded, to be honest, my own team. As you guys know, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. I love Carolina through and through. Love this team through the bad, which is basically all the time since 2015. But I love the fan base. I love the culture. I love everything about being a Carolina Panthers fan. I mean, look. Shout out, Sir Purr. Went and got my dude. He's always with me. I mean, I can't deny myself that. But at the same time, I deny myself guys like Chuba Hubbard, Teteroa McMillan. I deny myself that because I don't know if my team can really put it together. So maybe that's my hesitancy when it comes to a guy like DK Metcalf. I haven't seen my own team do it. So how can I expect a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's supposed to be this phenomenal quarterback, to put this together in a new place, new coaches, new situation, new everything? I just don't know. He's one of those guys that I'm just, if I lose out on him, that's fine. I'll lose out on him all day. I will be the guy that faded him, and I'll eat that. But I'm not going to be the guy that's fading CeeDee Lamb. I'm not going to be the guy that's fading. Again, look at the guys on this team. My normal Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb stack. And that's how you play it. That's how I play these drafts. In fact, I might even hop into one real quick after this and show you my philosophy with it. It's normally 4 running backs. So unless I get a really, really great pick where I can get a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, or I get a later pick where I can pick up a guy like Christian McCaffrey and Ashton Jeanty, CeeDee's really the only wide receiver here that I will take inside of the top 8. Outside of the top 8, it's BTJ. Outside of the top 8, it's Malik Neighbors. There's so much opportunity there. But here, I made a clear decision. I made a clear decision to go with Bucky, Alvin Kamara, Trevion Henderson. I made a clear decision to get Ollie Gordon and RJ Harvey. Again, even though Panthers fan, I'm still going to go keep getting to Mecca. I don't really care what anybody says. Darnell Mooney's hurt. So just really hoping he might come back. I think he might come back this game. Yeah, he's still questionable. That we might find that out tomorrow. Oh, shout out, Rice Ball. Yeah, I kind of, a lot of these teams, I'm not going to lie, are kind of close. I kind of go after the same players for the most part. I don't like to kind of go out of my comfort zone for that year. If that's the case and I get guys that get burned like Trevion Henderson and he ends up becoming RB2 behind Ramondre, then in probably 60 of my leagues, that guy's going to be traded. Same thing with Emeka. Emeka gets hurt or something like that. That completely destroys a lot of my teams because I bet on some of these guys. In fact, I had a draft the other day where my 2 starting receivers after round 10 was literally Matthew Golden and Emeka Egbuka. So it was like rookie central. So I definitely do that. And of course, kickers I'm kind of all over the board about, but dude hit a 70-yarder. I don't really care what anybody says. I'm in on Cam Little, at least for this year. I don't really care. Let's see what happens, man. If you can hit a 70, that means that there's going to be situations where you're going to get put in that again. And I'm all for it, man. All freaking for it. But yeah, I really like doing, obviously, this stack. Lad McConkey is going to be fantastic. They're playing KC, though. But hey, man, what am I going to do? Put a Mecca in there over him? Put Jerry Jeudy? I mean, that might be a better one here. But if it's a hardball offense, I'm just going to trust Lad McConkey. The wide receiver 2 is Trey Harris or Keenan Allen, so I'm not worried about that. The Zach Ertz one I really, really like in a lot of my drafts. And yeah, man, RJ Harvey, a guy that I'm going to draft absolutely constantly. A guy like Ollie Gordon, I'm going to draft constantly. The upside is freaking there. And you know what? Screw it. Let's hop into a fantasy draft. Let's go. Join a public league. This is how I do a bunch of my redrafts. Literally just come on here. I got 2 or 3 accounts because I have to do this constantly. And here, we'll set the team name real quick, and I'll literally go through it. Go through my thoughts. You can also, of course, answer questions. RC, oops. I think this is 47 on this account. Whatever it is. Might be 48. Oh, yep, agreed. Let's get in this draft. PPR, 10-man snake. So my personal thoughts on any draft, regardless. I think that you should go for upside, of course. PPR, I'm obviously looking for wide receivers early, or I'm looking to do my favorite thing ever. And you guys can try this if you want to, especially if you're willing to take on extra drafts, or if you're like me and you just do a bunch of them. Go running back hard, go running back early. The reason why is because once you get past guys, way past guys like Ginty, you get past Trevion Henderson, and you're really in the thick of it, and you're making decisions like, do I take Cam Scadaboo, or do I take guys like Trevion Henderson? Sure, you might have CeeDee Lamb and, say, Malik Neighbors. You might even have a Lad McConkey in there too. But if your running back depth is gone, and you're really hoping on those boom bust guys, you're betting on Chuba Hubbard to have a repeat, even though he's got Rico Dowdle behind him, that's not a way to win long-term in any of these. And look, 24 of 25. So there you go on this account. I got to log into my other account after this. Or I guess I got one more to draft. So yeah, we could do 2 maybe. But yeah, I like depleting the running back depth early, very early. To be honest with you, depending on where this goes, I might go double running back. And then on the second turn, go double running back. It really kind of depends. Of course, if I end up with 1, I go Joe Burrow, Bucky, and then, Jamar Chase, Bucky, and then Joe Burrow. That's a fantastic stack. You obviously get wide receiver 1 and his quarterback who's going to throw him the ball constantly. And then if Bucky is going to do well. I don't really care what anybody says. Rachaad White's hurt behind him. They really have no running back 3. So for that reason, he's an easy pickup for me. Bucky's going to be one of those guys that continually gives you dividends throughout the year, especially if Rachaad continues to go through these little ticky-tack injuries, because with no clear defined RB2 that can take the mantle away from Bucky, you have to kind of save him a little bit as the OC, but at the same time, give him opportunities to catch the ball more. So in PPR, dude's going to eat. Absolutely eat. Oh, some interesting ones in here. Let's see. Got some names. Hooter Melts. That's pretty funny. Jake the Great. Mississippi Warthogs. Speaking of, shout out to everybody out there. Really appreciate you guys coming by. It's my first stream of the year. Going to be doing them every Tuesday, starting at 6 p.m. I'm going to try to run it to about 8, so I got about another hour or so to hang out. But yeah, if you guys have questions, anything like that, make sure you drop them in the comments. I put the link down there earlier, so go check that out if you guys want to come into the StreamYard. By all means, want to talk to anybody that I can. It's fantasy football, man. It's just time to talk about sports. I'm glad it's finally here. I'm glad we don't have to watch UNC, TCU. Man, we're here. We are here. And, of course, we're a minute away from this draft. Hopefully this is going to be a good one. Let's Let's go back to Twitter. Oh my God, I got 20 plus notifications. I'm not even going to look at those right now. People are going to be pissing me off. Shout out Micah. Shout out Isaac. Fun Football Pod. If you guys don't know, go follow them. They are legit. Absolutely love them. Oh, shout out Pete Nova too. Look, he's doing his thing right now as well. Awesome. It's going to be an interesting one. Somebody drew a toucan. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. Oh, what is it? The hell is that? Just traded for Travis Hunter. Going to piss my guy, JMO. I feel like you lost this trade. Did you see what Sleeper put out? I posted it. Let me go find it. With our default settings, he will not receive points for an INT or defensive touchdown, which means, unless you have a league that specifically adds IDP scoring, Travis Hunter is at best wide receiver 2 and not worth the pick that he's like. And yeah, we could do a viewer league, by the way, Rice Ball, for sure. If that's the case, I'll send it to you guys another one. We'll do it next Tuesday. I'll send out links ahead of time. Make sure you check me out on Twitter at Roll Coverage Pod, and I'll make sure. Oh, pick 5. So yeah, this is a perfect CD place. Look at that. Not even gonna bother. As long as CD Lamb is there, he's coming with me. And yeah, I do I do quite a few of different leagues. In fact, my my sleeper account, which if I get enough time to do it, I'll show you my sleeper account today. I do a lot of those. I do a lot of things where I invite people, so make sure you guys can go check those out as well. Like I said, I'm a big proponent, big lover of 32-team dynasty, 32-team redraft. I really don't care. I feel like the true fans really get deep into it when it's that many players, because you're no longer looking at guys like, oh, man, I got Malik Neighbors, I got Ladd, and I've got JSN. You're like, man, I got JSN. I got maybe one top flight running back. I got maybe one good tight end, and then it's just all figuring it out from there. I love those leagues so much. It is such an interesting one. Like, let me see if I pull it up. I just did a recent one. Here we go. A 32-man league. Oh, this is my horrible one. I hate best ball, by the way, so don't come at me with that. But like this team, 32 team. I'll try and show it on here since it's not going to do it. Okay. RJ Harvey, Jay Jettas, Elijah Arroyo, Jalen Royals, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, my depth is so bad. Look at this bench. Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe, Jack Betch, Jalen Lane, and Mitchell Evans. What is my team going to do? What are we going to do? My team's name is Betch, please, by the way. I thought that was a pretty good one. Oh, I guess, yeah, after week 1. Okay, that's fine, Big Rice Ball. I'll make sure I get it out tonight then. After the stream, I'll send out a link, and we're drafting tomorrow. I don't know how I can set it up to do a private league right here, or if I can even get enough people together real quick. I might be able to. Let me send some text messages. But yeah, legit, I'm going to have to start Jalen Lane. I'm going to have to start a guy that has projected 2 points in my sleeper league. It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. Oh, I got to turn the sound off. I don't want that. That's stupid dinging every 5 seconds. And yeah, don't worry. I'll make sure we get it. I'll make sure I get it out. Literally, as soon as the stream is over, I'll make a quick thing. I'll send it out with a link. By all means, join. And you know what? We might hop on tomorrow night for a quick draft. Screw it. That's what we'll do tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. Probably the same time, 6 p.m. Let's do this. Let's get a viewer league going. I'm down. Wait. Did the first pick already go? He took Jay Jettas over Jamar. Look at that in the bottom left. It's under the chat. Jettas. I'm very surprised. Look at that. 3. You're going to let Bijan. Oh, you know what? If Bijan gets there. Let's see if these people know how to draft, man. It's Hooter Melts. Come on, Hooter Melt. Pick 4 is already auto. Interesting. By the way, yeah, absolutely shout out. Only if we can get enough people together. Who went? Saquon went too. What is happening right now? Who lets Jamar Chase? 3? Malik Neighbors and I'm blown away. I'm taking Jamar Chase. You guys are insane. Did Jamar Chase go 1-5? This is a win. I'm not taking CeeDee Lamb over Jamar Chase. I'm sorry. What just happened? I'm blown away. No way. Now I got to figure out who I'm coming back for. What am I going back for? Because now that I have him, I have to go find my QB. Where's he at? Why am I doing it this way? Why don't I just search? Where's he at? Joe Burrow is 39, so I got a plan for that. I also don't like taking guys that are on the same bye week. I will never have like 3 or 4 dudes on the same bye week if I can help it, unless they're just insane players. Let's see. We got a few picks coming up. I still can't believe that Jamar Chase went 1-5. I'm going to have to screenshot that. You know what? While we're waiting for this, I'm going to post it. Shout out to everybody. Boom. I don't know how to spell. What just happened? See, look at that. Fantasy football. I'm also looking at it delayed in OBS, so that doesn't help. Boom. Let's hop back over to that draft. I still can't believe that. Look at that. 5. What is happening in this world? Who is teaching these children? Ginty goes. I don't believe in A-Chan, so I definitely won't be getting him. He could absolutely slide past 16 if he makes it to me. Let's see. Come on. I would assume Nico. One of these wide receivers are going to go here, or maybe a Derrick Henry. Oh, my God. Go only Cincinnati on this team. Go get Chase Brown as my next pick. Yeah, look at this. Paid actors. Absolutely big rice ball, dude. If I could pay somebody to let me draft Jamar Chase 5, or you know what? Let's go crazy. 7 or 8. Let's go. I would absolutely do that. Why not? Obviously, you guys saw me join it, but speaking of, before this, my wife decided to give me an edible, and that edible's kicking in. So I've had a muffin, just kind of chilling. And of course, I spill it everywhere. No way. I think I go BTJ if he's there. Or I go Drake London. BTJ is there. He took AJ Brown. I've got to take Brian Thomas. Right? Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to take BTJ. Derrick Henry goes after that. Do they just not believe in Trevor Lawrence? I don't know. I thought about maybe going Bucky there, but to be honest, this 2-5 pick is going to be Burrow. I'm going to overdraft him a tiny bit because I want to make sure he's on this team. I don't want him to fall anywhere. The Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow sack is worth too much. Period. Like, there goes Bucky. Okay, made sense. There goes Bowers. Josh Jacobs, that makes sense. Oh, Rice Ball. Your guy went. Josh Jacobs. It would have been a good pick. I'm not going to lie to you. He's especially where that offense is going to be, dude. Josh Jacobs. Yeah, absolutely. And not just that, but they have God, is there anybody else worth taking over him? No, I'm not going to let him slide. I'm going to get my dude, Joe Burr. Yeah, that when it comes to Josh Jacobs, I 100% agree, especially now that they add Micah Parsons. That defense was like 6th in sacks last year, I'm pretty sure. So with that, you add what did he have, 15 or some sacks last year, and he missed 4 games. He had the same amount of pressures missing 4 games as Nick Bosa did. That is bananas. And don't get me wrong. I think Nick Bosa is going to be considerably better this year because he gets Robert Saleh back. But at the same time, I genuinely think that a guy like Josh Jacobs is absolutely going to feast because of a guy like Micah Parsons. They're going to be able to go after the quarterback and then just run the ball the rest of the time. And that's going to be what really sets them apart this year, for sure. There goes Kittle, Kyron. Obviously, my team right here on the left, you probably can't see it the best because of my big-ass head. Yeah, I can actually move it around. Boom. We're moving over here. I'm going to go hang out with the comments over here. What's up, y'all? Jonathan Taylor. That's another one I'm worried about, if I'm going to be honest with you. Taylor's an interesting pick. Yeah, injury riddled. I love the potential, but I'm really worried about the running back. Or not the running back, the quarterback. Jesus Christ. So for that reason, I would honestly rather risk with a guy like Tyler Warren than I would a guy like Jonathan Taylor. Not saying that he can't do well. He can. I'm not saying he's done. Oh, Tyreek Hill, man, get out of here with that. Get out of here. Speaking of, how the heck do I just take that off screen? You guys don't need to see my name all the way the heck over there. Yeah, let's get rid of that. This way you guys can see the full screen. Boom. Jaden Daniels goes. I can't blame you. Dude's going to be an MVP candidate for sure. For sure. And, of course, that wide receiver room, to be honest, long-term depth, Jalen Lane, going to be a dude. Maybe not this year, but 5'10", dude's got jets. Here I got to go running back. I can't go. I got to go James Cook, right? Omarion's not going to get a ton. Alvin Kamara would make sense. And it would space out my bye weeks. But then who's my RB2? D Swift? RJ Harvey down here. There's a Mecca and Golden. I don't really need a Mecca and Golden, so I can pick one of the two for later. I really need running back depth if I'm not going to get a top flight wide receiver. And I really genuinely feel like the top flight wide receiver falls off pretty quick. Ooh, Lamar goes. That's a good one. That's another good one. Lamar's going to be a league winner for sure. I don't see a scenario where a guy like Lamar Jackson doesn't finish top 5 in fantasy. Like, he's freaking Lamar Jackson, man. Get out of here. Dude's offense is 100% geared towards him. His running threat is absolutely out of this world. And not just that, but he's developed into one of the best passers in the league. So I'm pretty sure Lamar Jackson also scored. Hold on. I'm going to go pull him up. I'm pretty sure he scored like 40 touchdowns last year, though. Or was that the year before? Yeah, 2024, 41-4. Get out of here with the Lamar Jackson hate. If anybody doesn't believe in him, you need to get your head examined. Absolutely believe in Lamar. Get out of here. Also, my wife's a Ravens fan, so I have to. But still. Omarion goes over James Cook. You're crazy. Absolutely crazy. Also, the fact that James Cook is going to make it all the way to me blows my mind. I genuinely just don't see myself going for a wide receiver. Oh, of course. As soon as I open my freaking mouth, there goes James Cook. There goes Sam Laporta. That's a good one. I feel like there's going to be good enough tight ends down the road that you don't have to go for a guy like that early. Oh, this is going to haunt me, isn't it? This is going to haunt me, isn't it? I'm not willing to have a running back room that only has subpar running backs, so I'm going Alvin Kamara. I can't. I'm going to pass on Ladd McConkey. I'm sorry. I'm going to pass on Devontae and Jackson, Terry McLaurin. I'm going to pass on them all. I'm sorry. Garrett Wilson, Devontae. Okay, so at least wide receivers are going. I can possibly double dip. Where am I going? Maybe Brees? I don't know. Otto's going to pick Chuba, I hope. Damn it. Oh, let's go. He took Kenneth Walker. I'm taking Trevion Henderson. I do believe in Trevion Henderson. I don't believe in Ramondre at all. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the offense. I don't know. Either way, it's going to be a good year, especially for this team. I mean, look at that. Joe Burr, Kamara, Henderson, Chase, Brian Thomas. We cooking this up. Now, obviously, here I'm going to lose out on some guys. That's a guy we were talking about earlier, DK Metcalf. I don't really care about losing him. Again, you're really betting that he's going to get all the targets, so you're hoping, or I guess betting, whatever you want to say, he's going to be the guy. I'd rather risk it on a guy way down the board down here like Rashee Rice. Also crazy to see. Patrick just went, but Patrick was right there. That's crazy to me. Patrick and Baker Mayfield are basically the same in fantasy football. Honestly, at this point, I'm hoping the wide receiver falls. A Cortland Sutton, a Zay Flowers, a Jerry Jeudy. Rashee's not worth taking this early, even though he'll probably get auto to somebody's team that's going to freaking feast with that pick. I just don't think it's worth it because I need a flex. I need a flex that's going to play now, not a flex that's going to play in 6-7 weeks. And especially week 1, need an early dub. Obviously, getting Chase was the start of this, but it's definitely going to be... Well, who goes? Marvin Harrison. Okay, I like that. Speaking of, we might as well look at other teams while we're doing this. Dude's got Jacobs. Okay, shout out. Shout out Riceball likes that pick. He also got Garrett Wilson, Devontae, Jay Jettas. I don't hate this team. I really don't. Whoever you're running back to will kind of depend or will decide that for me long term, but I like it. Hooter Melts. Let's see. You had the second pick. You took Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown. I don't hate your running backs. After Saquon Barkley, I feel like your running backs fall off. Again, I like Chase Brown more than I like James Conner, but the fact that you have James Conner already kind of blows my mind. Bijan and Bucky, I'm not the biggest believer in McLaurin unless you're going to pair him with Jalen. McBride is going to be apparently a top 5 tight end, which is fine with me. Chuba I have a lot of concern with, if I'm going to be honest with you, even as a Panthers fan. Chuba's another one of those guys that I'm fading in fantasy. One of the fun / not so fun facts about my Carolina Panthers is we've had 7 seasons, I believe it was, where we didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver or a 1,000-yard rusher. And I feel like the talent is so clustered together. I feel like that's going to be this year. We're not going to have a 1,000-yard receiver, and we're not going to have a 1,000-yard rusher. I know that's a horrible thing for me to say because I want my team to win games, but I got to be honest about what the feeling or whatever is happening. This team, Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, Malik Neighbors, T. Higgins, Ladd McConkey. I feel like, T is going to be good regardless, but I do like Ladd over him and then maybe another running back here. Kenneth Walker is going to be good, but you're going to have to go get a guy like Charbonnet to make sure that pays off. Hurts, A.J. Brown is a fantastic stack, so good job there. Jahmyr Gibbs, I love. D. Swift was going to be a guy that I grabbed, so Kittle. So to be honest, this is my number 2 team so far behind my own. Wide receiver, Kyron Jones. So you went CD early. You went Josh Allen early. Hold on, let's go back to my team. Our pick is up. I need a flex or a tight end. Ooh, Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy. Sutton or Jeudy. If you guys can get into the comments quick enough, I will take whichever one you guys recommend. It's going to be Sutton. I feel like is going to do something, especially with Bo Nix there and everything. I might end up wanting to take RJ Harvey later on, but either way, I feel like it's not a way I can lose with either of these. Sutton. Okay, we're taking Sutton then. Shout out Big Rice Ball. Yeah, it was either him or Jeudy. My concern with Jeudy is he actually has a really competent wide receiver too. The wide receiver 2 for Sutton right now is, according to the depth chart that I saw from some random Broncos fan, had Pat Bryant ahead of him. Yeah, I would agree. My concern with Ted is that 1,000-yard concern with Carolina. That's just a me thing. But no, the backup to Sutton is Pat Bryant, the rookie. Marvin Mims, the second year, is going to be there, but he's going to be apparently taking a lot when it comes to Jalen Waddle goes. Oh, I'm on the clock. Oh, I just talked about this guy. I'm going to take him. I don't really care that we have two from the same team. Or do I? Or I might have to take one of these guys. Oh, God. This is a horrible scenario. Jerry Jeudy, RJ Harvey, Golden or Egbuka. Egbuka's my league winner, but do I really need the wide receiver help when I have guys like Sutton, Chase, and Thomas? I feel like I need more running back help, so RJ Harvey makes more sense to me. Isaiah Pacheco's not bad. I got 20 seconds. I don't know. It's going to be a running back, most likely. RJ or Isaiah. You know what? I'm going to take Isaiah. I haven't taken him in a whole lot of places. He's a Chief. He'll be my first depth guy. This will be the first one I've kind of taken out of my comfort zone, especially because he's kind of the running back too now. I'm like 95% sure that they didn't. Actually, here, we'll go look it up. Boom. We're going to go find the Chiefs, wherever my brain is. Depth chart. Isaiah, Kareem. It falls off hard once you hit Kareem Hunt. So, yeah, I feel comfortable with that pick. Isaiah shouldn't need to start for me on a regular basis. I'm going to end up playing another running back out of there. And to be honest, I could end up still stealing one of these guys. So as long as all four aren't gone, it looks like I should be able to get one of the others. So let's see which one we end up snagging. Let's keep doing reviews of the other teams, though. Oh, this is that Josh Allen team from before. They ended up adding Rome Odunze. I don't know about Rome this year. And the Mike Evans pick is an easy no-brainer. Jake the Great got Patty. No stack. Oh, he got Patty T. Kelsey. I like that, actually. Kelsey, I feel like, is actually going to do pretty decent this year. Metcalf, again, take at your own risk. Devon Achane and James Cook makes complete sense. I like them both. Amon-Ra St. Brown, great. I'm not a Tyreek fan this year, but that's just me. Jaden, love it. Really wish you would have paired him with somebody else, but you know what? You got Christian and Omar in. I like that. Nico Collins is good. Marvin Harrison, I feel like, is poised for some sort of breakout this year. Hawkinson, it's the JJ question. And Devonta Smith, I mean, there are no questions. Devonta Smith can absolutely ball out there. And now Tim, the guy that took Lamar earlier, I absolutely love that. He did not pair with anybody else. Very interesting. I would have been surprised you don't get, maybe he's down the board farther, like a Zay Flowers or somebody like that. Maybe we already passed by him. Regardless, him and Genty, I like. Genty, you're really hoping again on that rookie upside. Jonathan Taylor, we've kind of gone over, but Daniel Jones is really the only thing holding you back. I love that you went out and got Egbuka. Kind of sucks for me, but that's okay. David Montgomery's a good RB2. DJ Moore's good. Worthy's going to freaking eat. And same thing with Puka. So overall, everybody's kind of drafting well. I think it's Marcus's is still one of my favorites. Which one was it? I lied. It's this one. Was it? Baker and them. Nope, definitely wasn't that one. Definitely was. So, yeah, it had to be. Yeah, this one's probably the most stable. Marcus's is... No, it's Marcus's, yeah. He's got arguably the best team outside of mine. I kind of kept going back and forth with that. RJ Harvey goes as well. That sucks. This is the better of them. You got the Hurts Brown stack. Hurts is gonna tush push. Yeah, this is a good one. Bill, what? Bill, Ja'Cory Krosky, Marset goes in the bottom right. I'm gonna go get Matthew Golden. I don't have any fives here. I don't want to take any tens. So Pickens is out. I'm going to go get Matthew Golden. Yeah, for sure. If I would have gotten an RJ Harvey, then obviously Bo Nix is down here, but I don't need an RB2 or a QB2 for this league. This is just basic ESPN PPR. I shouldn't really have any need to go anywhere else with that. Oh, we got lots of autos, so this should go much faster. Quick run on guys. Njoku, Pearsall, Andrews, Bo Nix, Jacoby Myers, Brock Purdy. Hopefully that Brock Purdy's got a good player to throw to. Jerry Jeudy's still here. I feel like the universe is telling me that he needs to come to my team. Screw it. Jerry Jeudy, welcome to the squad. By the way, shout out to everybody in the stream. About 26 of you. Really appreciate you guys. It has been fun for sure. I am definitely enjoying the night. It's only 7:12. Or I'm sorry, almost 7:20, not 7:12. Tyler Warren goes, wow. Where was his ADP? Oops. 113. Wow. Whew. And we're only at 98. He definitely took him early. I really don't know where to go from here. I need running back depth, but to be honest, my running back depth is going to be more boom bust. I shouldn't need more than Kamara, Henderson, and Pacheco, especially because none of them have the same bye week. Other guys, I'm just going to go for upside. I don't really know where I want to go. I love that they're literally in a row. 115, 116, 117. All three running backs from Jacksonville. They don't know what they're going to do against Carolina, man. And I don't mean like they don't have a plan. I mean like nobody knows which running back's going to be the dude. I mean, it doesn't make sense to pick anybody else other than Travis, but whatever. So what is the plan for the rest of the night? I'm not sure. I think I am going to finish this up. My edible's kicking in. My wife, we made this thing called a firecracker, man. And even though I've been drinking this NOS and eating this muffin, it is not helping. I am going through it. But that's why it's roll coverage, dude. I used to smoke on stream. Maybe for a Carolina Panthers game, I'll smoke off camera, but that's about it. Don't want to, put that in your home if that's not what you want. But regardless, I think I'm going to, after this draft, do a quick recap, go through that, and then we'll pick this thing up tomorrow. I'm not really sure what time I'm going to stream. Like I said, after this, I'm going to kind of get it all together, figure out what time that's going to be, make a graphic, post it on Twitter at Roll Coverage Pod, and go from there. Definitely excited for the season, though. Can't believe I only have one more team to draft. This is my last account with ESPN, so that means I have two full accounts and one almost full account. So I've got 99 drafted, 99 of 100. Okay, so this is an interesting place. Lots of quarterbacks here, so I, could have waited on that if I didn't get a gift in Jamar Chase. I don't need another wide receiver. There's a big fall off after this. We go to the tight ends. Big fall off into the wide receivers. And from there. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to take can you just handcuff Ramondre? Career worst 3.9. Find flex play at a minimum. I got 15 seconds to make this decision. I have no idea what I want to do. Once I start hearing the ticking, I think I'm just going to have to. I don't know. You know what? Oh, no. I was going to pick Xavier Leggett. You know what, Chris Olave? I ain't mad at it. I was so torn right there, dude. I really thought about Ramondre. I thought about Javonte. Javonte's not going to get shit this year. Juwan Jennings is hurt. Michael Pittman, again, your quarterback, mid. I could go get another quarterback, but I don't have the stack anywhere, and it's not worth for me to go get anybody here. Justin Herbert's not worth getting. I was just going to get Leggett, but whatever. Chris Olave is good enough. We're back in this situation again, and I don't know who the hell to pick. I'm going to take a running back here. It doesn't really matter. I'm not taking Darnell Mooney. I was going to take Xavier Legette. Oh, I took Evan Ingram. Even better. I don't even need to take a tight end then. Yeah, let's go get a running back. I'm too high for this, man. I'm going to take Travis. Hey, I appreciate you. My lineup is thick. Got some thick boys out there. I don't think Travis Etienne's a bad pickup, right? Be a part of the timeshare. A near even split with Tank Bigsby is expected, while rookie draft picks Bishal Tootin and LaQuint Allen could also crack the rotation. Are you kidding me? That's the Liam Cohen, man. That's why when people keep asking me about this Carolina Panthers thing. In fact, you know what? That's what I'm going to do after this. We'll do this real quick after this, and I'm going to pull up the – in fact, I think I still got it. I'm not really sure where it is. I'll have to find it on my phone and then send it over. Let's see. Oh, hold on while I'm doing this. Shout out to the guy we were looking at before, Mike K. If you're a Carolina Panthers fan, which if you're a fan of me, you might be, the official wide receiver or the depth chart's out. Obviously, clear. Tommy Tremble is ahead of him. Makes complete sense. Robert Hunt, no backup right guard. Ooh. That's a concern for me. Ickham is there. That's good. Obviously, when he's healthy. Jatavian Sanders is the wide receiver one. Makes me laugh so hard. Turk Wharton and Bobby Brown I like. Ashawn I cannot stand. Cam Jackson I like much more than I like Ashawn Robinson. Derek Brown, of course, Pro Bowler. Roseboom and Trevin is going to be a problem for this team. DJ Wanham, hilarious that he's getting the start over Nick freaking Scorton, but whatever. Same thing. Pat Jones is better than Princely right now, but man, I still don't love that. Lathan Ransom's the 2 on free safety. What did I tell everybody? I'm going to go find this tweet afterwards. I told this fan base that Lathan Ransom was going to be a free safety. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, and I love how they have the pronunciation stuff at the bottom. Also, my kicker one in Ryan Fitzgerald. Let's go. Let's go. Trevor Etienne also getting that. I love that. Awesome. Oh, I got to gloat a little bit. Okay, let's hop back over here. Let's see what happens since my last pick. Since my Travis Etienne pick, Khalil Shakir, Nick Chubb, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Broncos defense, Zach Ertz, Tucker Kraft, Drake May, Josh Downs. I am on the clock. I don't need a wide receiver 2. I'm going to go get my tight end, my darling tight end, Colston Loveland. That's an easy pick for me. I need a backup tight end. I'm not a big fan of Evan Ingram, so I'll probably end up starting Loveland over him anyways, depending on where everything fleshes out. Speaking of, I was looking for that damn... Come on. Come on, phone. You can do it. Okay, it's the first one. I just want to make sure I'm not going to have to go digging through my bookmarks to find what I'm looking for. We're going to pick these. Then I'm going to post it. So you guys will be a part of that. We'll go knock that out here after this. Let me move myself back over here. Boom. Put that back on screen. Okay, we're back. I need another pick. I don't need another wide receiver. I don't need another tight end. I could use another running back. Where is Ollie Gordon? He's way down there. So that means I have potential. I don't feel like it is worth taking any of these guys. Trey Benson, I don't like. Rashad White could end up getting the start. Law, yeah, he did lose it. Okay, how about this? I'm going to go get... You know what? Screw all this. 151, I don't really care. Ollie Gordon, welcome to the team. After this, I'm going to pick my defense. We'll pick kicker. I'll get the last pick together. We'll let this thing finish out, and then we'll move over. We'll make official picks for the week. Make sure that that is ready. By the way, shout out to everybody. Again, cannot thank you guys enough for coming on by and just hanging out tonight. Again, link is in the description. Again, after this, we're going to be picking the games. Let me make sure I put it back down there. Oops. Again, I need to figure out a better system. Why does this do this? Boom. Again, if you want to come in, the link is down there. If you want to come hang out. 7 picks. Defenses. Where do I want to go with this? Eagles defense, number 1, for sure. I will be very surprised if they're not number 1. Are you kidding me? Hold on. You think they're going to get 128 fantasy points? Against who? The Vikings? You're crazy. The Lions, sure. The Colts are going to have a better defense. You got to be joking me, right? Carolina, I'll accept down there at 51 points. But where the hell? Wait, did somebody draft them? Or am I just blind all of a sudden? There they are, the Eagles. Good Lord, I'm blind. 97.2. You think they're going to have close to the Bears and less than the Cardinals? That's crazy to me. Absolutely bananas. No way. Absolutely no way. No. I refuse to accept this. That defense is way too good to be down that low. Why is it so low? You're playing the Cowboys. Week 1. Whatever. Clearly, I don't know ball. Again, let's go get that defense, or our kickers rated higher. 180. Nope. Let's go get our defense of the future, and then we're going to go get our kicker of the future, and then I'll just put whoever in that last spot, probably a Cedric Tillman or something like that. I already got Jerry Jeudy, so might as well get his wide receiver too as well. It's been a chill night. It's been chill. Got to drink some NOS. Got to eat half of a muffin. It's been awesome. It's all right. I heard something in my room. I'm like, what the hell? It's my cat. My cat literally has their cat food on the other side of this. So I'm like, what is that? What is that sound? And I look under my monitor. There she is. She ain't going to come over here either. She's going to avoid me like the plague. I don't know how this team, they think that this team is going to get that. That blows my mind. I think the Eagles are way better than whatever this thinks they're going to be. So for that reason, I'm going Eagles defense. Give me kicker now. Kicker. Like I said before, I'm going with Cam Little. Bunted that 70-yarder, so, he hits a 70-yarder in the NFL. That's pretty sick. I would love to have him on my team when he does that, but you know what? If the Packers defense falls, that'll be my last pick. Because there's no way Micah Parsons and that team doesn't do well, right? You know what? We're going to go get him right now just to say, unless they've been taken, and I am blind. They are not. It's right there. Boom. Let me go get the kicker now. Last pick. Look at that swerve. Look at that swerve. Oh, they're going to be so mad. That is a way to set up the future. Oh. It's going to be a good one. Kicker. Where do I want to go? Jake Elliott, no. Tyler Bass, no. Brandon Aubrey is the one that everybody loves, but I have that'd be 4 by week 10 players. I don't love that. Again, I do look at that. I've got 3-5, so I don't want a 5 kicker. So Cairo Santos is out. I don't want a 12, so Cameron Dicker's out. That 8 might be looking good. No, I've already got 2 8s, so that would be 3 8s. That's the maximum I would do. Let's get an interesting one that I don't have. Do I have a 6? Kaimi Fairburn. I haven't taken him in any of mine. Yeah, let's go get Fairburn. That'll be the first time I've taken him. In my 99th draft, Kaimi, I don't know. I'm probably butchering it. After finishing 4th in fantasy points among kickers, he tied for 3rd with 42 field goal attempts and made 13 kicks beyond 50, which tied for the 2nd most in the NFL. Interesting. Kaimi is probably going to make his way to my team unless he gets taken, in which case I will probably cry. No, I'll just go get another kicker. Young Hoku's another 5. I'm sorry, I needed a 6. So Will Reichard, I'm good. I'm not betting. The only person I'll bet on what even team is that? Why did my mind blank? Minnesota is Jay Jettas, Aaron Jones, and I will continually bet on Jordan Addison. I loved him out of college. I thought he would be absolutely electric, and he freaking delivers. Of course, he also, delivered himself a 6-game suspension, which kind of sucks. But whatever. Take the grain of salt. Either way, it is good time. Let's see. Come on. There's so many auto picks. Just Wan'Dale Robinson. Michael Penix goes. Tyler Loop was a good pick as well by Bobby's best team up here. Patriots defense is the one that blows my mind. Why do you believe in that Patriots defense? Whatever. Not going to be me. Oh, no, sir. Not going to be me. Once this wraps up, we'll go look at the team real quick. We'll go see who our first week opponent is. Look at his team. Make sure that it's, hopefully going to lose to mine. Brendan Aubrey finally goes. Kaimi Fairburn, welcome to the team. Boom. It also means that I could swap him out at some point. So let's let this thing finish. It should give me the option to just follow it in and then see my results. So we'll do that and then go from there. Then, like I said, we'll hop over to here. We'll knock this out. I'll give you my official predictions. And, we will be good. We'll wrap this thing up. Heck yeah, the team goes. I don't even know what that is, but I'm not going to do that now. Let's go to my team. Okay, I was about to say. First week, let's go. We are going up against Bobby's team first week. Show the full bench. Okay, I'm on the right side. J.J. McCarthy against Joe Burrow. Yeah, I'm for sure going to beat you there. Kamara and Trevion, I understand. Losing to Bijan and Bucky. Jamar and Brian Thomas for sure win that. Evan Ingram, yeah, I don't love that pick there, but whatever. Going to be what it is. And Colson Levin's only projected 8.8. So, yeah, I guess I'll leave the Evan Ingram there. When it comes to Cortland Sutton, I do like that. Ooh, I have 2 Denver starting. I don't know about that. Yeah, I might have to put Loveland in there for sure. Yeah, Loveland's probably going to go in there, or I'm going to swap Sutton for Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is projected another 1.5 points over him, so I might, that's probably going to be where I start that. When it comes to defense, I don't understand how Eagles' defense isn't number 1, but whatever. Especially with what they did to the Chiefs. Kaimi Fairburn versus Tyler Loop, it's kind of a wash in my opinion. I mean, look, we're separated by 0.3. Get out of here with that. Rashee Rice going to be absolutely amazing for his team. I mean, long term. But Isaiah Pacheco, Matthew Golden, Judy, ETN. No offense. I like my team a lot better here, especially depth as well. I mean, 3.9 points they're expecting against Detroit. I'm sorry. Again, the Packers defense last year finished 6th in sacks. It's going to get even better. Ollie Gordon, high upside, but to be honest, he's got Jalen Wright and Devon Achane ahead of him, so that's going to be something. So I like where I'm at. We're projected a little bit less, but let's go back here and update. So I'm going to swap Sutton out. Do I swap Sutton out for Jerry Jeudy? Because this is most likely going to have to be Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Jerry Jeudy. I'm not even gonna overthink this. I'm not. Denver's gonna smoke Tennessee, so they're not gonna be passing the ball a ton to Cortland Sutton. Sure, he might get 9 targets, 7 catches for 101 and a touchdown. There's a better chance that Jerry Jeudy gets 13, 14 targets and puts out more. So I'm gonna go with that. That'll put me a lot closer in points to him. I'll leave Evan Ingram there. Again, Eagles over Packers defense. Micah's not even going to start for them yet, so that makes sense. And if anything happens to this team, I feel comfortable. I like where I'm at. I'll scroll down a little bit farther so you can see the depth. Isaiah Pacheco, Matthew Golden, Cortland Sutton, again, Travis, Colston. I like where I'm at. I don't need to swap anybody here. If I had gotten maybe a Rashee Rice, that's a perfect pickup, and you swap him in there and then just hop right back on the waiver wire. Either way, to be honest, this is an A for me. I'll probably give myself a 90. I wouldn't give myself anything higher. I don't love my long-term depth, and again, I'm one of those big question marks when it comes to Pacheco. So for me, I'm gonna give myself pushback with that one and say, man, if I had gone anywhere though, I could have swapped it for a wide receiver because look at the diminished returns. We go from Kamara and Trevion Henderson. Let's go back and look at this. The reason why my normal draft strategy, oh, sweet, I'm winning now. Projection, at least. My normal draft strategy continues to be take 4 running backs, 1, 2, 3, 4, as soon as you can, because it really deflates it. The only reason why I go Jamar Chase here is because he fell to freaking 5. Like, I have to take him there because, look, when you come to the running backs, 19-6, 17-3, nobody else crazy here, but like then Kamara and all that. That's where you start falling off 15s. I still got a 15 essentially in Jerry Jeudy super late. Look, Chuba Hubbard's a 15-4. It drops like a fly after that. Isaiah Pacheco's at a 12. Cortland Sutton's the running back depth depletes immediately in every single draft. So make sure that's where you're targeting first. Unless you just get a guy, you get a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, God, who was I just about to say? CeeDee Lamb. There we go. Then go with those guys. But otherwise, you really need that running back depth. Now let's hop back over here. Let me figure out. Yeah, this should be fine. Actually, let me see if I could just pull it up. Do this and this. Okay, perfect. This will be a little bit easier. Shout out to everybody that made it this far. It's going to be the last thing I do, and then I'm going to log off. Try and make this go just about 20 minutes so we can end right at 8 o'clock. Either way, thank you for everybody coming out. And this next part is just going to be me kind of predicting where I feel like this week 1 slate is going to end. I'm going to pick my winners, pick my losers, and give you a quick synopsis of why I feel that way. This may not be the take you're looking for. This may not be the style you're looking for. And you may think that, hey, feelings and all that other stuff is not the way to predict. But we're going to find out here in just a few days when the season goes. And then, of course, we're going to recap this next Tuesday when I check my winners, losers, and everything like that. So let's start with this first game. Eagles, Cowboys. I'm not even going to bury the lead. It's the Eagles all day. I don't see this Eagles team taking a step back. I could see a scenario where they go on a massive run, maybe lose to a dumb team. Sure. But everybody loses to a dumb team. Last year, KC took Carolina down to the wire and just barely beat us. So there's just times where that happens. It is what it is. Kansas City, I'm 100% taking. I do think that they are returning back to form. I do think that Patrick Mahomes is going to start shelling people again. I think the Xavier Worthy problem, the Jalen Royals thing, all of that, they have a fantastic wide receiver room. Everything is awesome for them. I'm super excited for their season. Plus the loss of Rashawn Slater is going to absolutely change that offense. And being a run-first offense is not really going to benefit them against a team that can throw the ball so well. Regardless of where you rank Patrick Mahomes, he's top 5 all-time already. And in the league, he's, in my opinion, number 1 when it comes to just winning. I mean, can't deny that. Next one, divisional rival. Obviously, being a Panthers fan, I have a little bit of a stake in this. Either way, I do think that the Bucs win this game. I think there's a chance that Atlanta comes out and wins. If that's the case, you're going to see an explosion from a guy like Michael Penix, something akin to what we saw last year when he played Bryce Young in Week 18. There's a scenario where they come out here and throw 3 touchdowns and everything like that, and maybe the Bucs stumble a little. But remember, the last few years, the Bucs have started very well. The Bucs don't take a while to get going. The Bucs are ready to go week 1 every single season without fail. So don't bet against them when it comes to that. If anything right now, if you're concerned about this being a toss-up, just avoid it altogether. I personally, like I said, I'll put it here. I personally picked the Falcons to win the division. So I think that this is obviously a part of the equation when it comes down the line. But at the same time, I could also see a scenario where the Bucs come out here with a statement win and win, 35-14 kind of thing, like we saw UNC and TCU. This one's going to be a super easy one. I do think that the Bengals win this. Obviously, I do have a little bit of bias right now. I mean, come on, I just drafted Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. But no, I'm not a Cleveland anything fan. I'm not a Ohio anything. I avoid the state as all possible. I literally drive around the state when I can. When I'm traveling, I don't fly over the state the whole bit. That's how far this goes. Legit. So for me to be like the Bengals are going to win over the Browns, it's just strictly betting because I don't think the Browns quarterback situation is in a positive place. I do think that Shadur is a better option than Dylan Gabriel, of course, who's quarterback 2 on the depth chart. But Joe Flacco he's definitely up there, man. Whether or not it's up there in age, up there in whatever, I just don't feel like he has it anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. If he comes out here and we see the Joe Flacco that ran in the playoffs a few years ago, awesome. I'll be super excited to see it. And a guy like Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman will be able to feast off of that. But the Bengals got Shamar Turner signed finally. I think that's one. Shamar. I think that one was Turner. Sorry, there's so many Shamars now. I think there was 3 the other day. Regardless, they got Trey Hendrickson back for at least a 1 year, so that's something. I would take the Bengals here. No problem. Miami, Colts. I'm just going to take Miami for the firepower. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. They have a quarterback. You're not really sure what you have in Daniel Jones. Anthony Richardson isn't able to put it together, and you don't really have any dynamic wide receiver. You've got Alec Downs. You've got Michael Pittman. You've got, I can't remember his, Adonai Mitchell. So you've got some guys, and, of course, JT in the running back room. But I don't think that's bigger than what the Dolphins are building. And the Dolphins need this early win to keep the momentum, or I think it goes south very quickly. Obviously, McDaniels is on a hot seat, so expect that one to be a win for Miami, in my opinion, especially because it's in a dome, so they don't have to worry about the cold. Carolina's, I'm going to do that one last, just because I just need to bury that. I'm sorry. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. I can't do that one now. I got to get all the other juju out, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Raiders, New England. I do think that this is a scenario where the old man can't get past the new age. And I think this could be a scenario where the Patriots really push the Raiders to a place. Ginty hasn't really gotten his feet wet at really at the NFL level with true NFL, starters and the whole bit. Pete Carroll's still kind of building it new, but technically so are the Patriots. I'm just going to bet that, the stability of the organization and everything being the Patriots is going to lead to a better outcome. But at the same time, this is probably going to be a game that I personally avoid. It's just me. Hey, shout out to Ballers and Briefs, man. Had to stop in and say what's up, my guy. Had a second to vacate. Everybody support my dude, Nick. He's the GOAT. Sincerely appreciate you, bro. Hopefully you're staying safe out there. Hopefully you're in the one in Florida where they got that Mario World. My buddy just went to that, and he absolutely loved it. Enjoy your time, man. And again, shout out. Thank you. But yeah, this one I'm going to personally avoid. This one is an easy bet. Like, no joke. What's the answer? It's Arizona. Come on, man. I mean, fantasy just showed us that apparently the Arizona Cardinals have a better defense than the Packers, but that's besides the point. I genuinely believe in the Cardinals this year more than I believe in the Saints, because the Saints do not have a quarterback, essentially. Regardless of what you believe about Kyler Murray is a good enough quarterback to win you 9-10 games in the league. He's probably never going to do it, meaning 10-plus wins, but I absolutely think that he's a serviceable quarterback. He's got Trey McBride, the ultimate safety net. He's got a running back room that he's got some depth in. Marvin Harrison Jr. comes in there. He's got guys. The Saints have a lot of holes all over. The only way this game goes their way is if the Saints can somehow pull out some early, points, maybe some defensive touchdowns or something like that. That'd be the only thing that gets the Saints this dub. So for me, I am pounding the Cardinals all day long. This one, you obviously know my concern about the Steelers. I'm going to go all Jets on this one. I don't care what anybody says. Shout out to my guys, Rich Eyes, and shout out to my guys, John Frischella at NFL Frischella. yeah, the Jets are going to roll in this one. I genuinely think the Steelers have a great offensive line and a pretty awesome defense. Again, that secondary is insane. But I'm concerned about that quarterback you guys have got for the Steelers. I'm also concerned about the Jets one, but I feel like Aaron Glenn stabilizes the organization a bit better. Not saying that Tomlin has some crazy, weird organization, but when it comes down to quarterback to quarterback, I would probably take Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers at this point. And that might be a controversial take, but I really don't care. Next one, this is going to be an easy one. The Commanders, obviously. Jaden Daniels, I think, is going to be an MVP candidate. I think it's going to be a super awesome year for him to really figure out the NFL. I mean, it already seemed like he figured it out last year, but now year two, building on that offense, the run game, second year with their head coach, whose name is escaping me at the moment. I can literally see his face, but regardless, it'll come to me. I love everything they have. Obviously, the running back room leaves a little bit to be desired, but Jaden Daniels is a Lamar-level talent, so you don't need the running back room as much. Only recently did Derrick Henry and everything like that really elevate that running back room past where Lamar had it. So for that reason, I am all in on the Commanders. Also, the Giants have a fantastic defense, so maybe that changes it up a bit. But my drawback for betting the Giants is Russell Wilson. If you were telling me that it was Jackson Dart, I would probably avoid this, if I'm going to be honest with you. That would cause me to throw my hands up. But if it's Russell Wilson, I'm 100% going Commanders all day long. I don't care what anybody has to say about that. We talked about this earlier. I think Cam Ward is one of the most, I wouldn't say hated, but most underrated quarterbacks that we've seen recently. To be honest with you, I like Alec Aomanor. I like the running back room, even though Spears is hurt. Defense is still going to take some time to grow, but they do have Snead out there. They've got some guys. But Denver's just on a complete separate playing field, whatever you want to say. Bo Nix is super awesome. I loved him coming out of college. I said Bo Nix was going to be that guy. Same thing with Jaden Daniels. They both showed you what they could do in college. And, I think it's just going to completely translate this year. I must say I am heavily invested in RJ Harvey, so there might be a little bit of bias there. But this Broncos team is going to be awesome. And, hey, I might actually be moving back to Denver at some point. So, hey, man, got to lay the seeds down, okay? Got to get the Broncos fans to like me. Next one, though, 49ers Seahawks. I'm going 49ers all day long. I don't really care what anybody says. Robert Saleh is back as the DC for the 49ers. You had Michael Williams. Their draft was arguably top 5 draft for sure. That's after losing Adam Peters. I can't doubt the Niners. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL as well. Brock Purdy is a top 5 quarterback, regardless of what you want to say. The Seahawks are trying to figure out, is Sam Darnold going to translate there? Is JSN good enough to be wide receiver 1? Can Kenneth stay healthy? Can Cooper Kupp stay healthy? Torrey Horton. I mean, they've got some issues. Defense is obviously still building, and again, I like their draft as well. But for me, the 49ers are a easy pound for this one. If I was in an elimination league, I would eliminate the Seahawks right now. When it comes to or to be honest, I would teaser. Lions, Packers. I'm taking the Lions. The reason why is because I think it's going to take a little bit longer for the Packers to kind of get it together. Micah Parsons might not play, rumored to not play because of the back injury still. I still think Jared Goff, ASB, Jahmyr Gibbs, Demo, Aiden Hutchinson is back now. That team is still going to be rolling on all cylinders. Yes, new play callers. Yes, new offense, defense. I get it. A little bit more stability with the Packers, but I think this is an early place where just a brutal team like the Lions are going to be able to go in there and just win. So for that reason, I'm going with them. And to be honest, this one is one that I'm kind of all over the place with. Sorry. Texans, Rams. Rams is going to be an interesting one. Everyone thinks the defense is going to be mid like they were last year, but really what's hurting them in fantasy is the defense is constantly on the field because the offense isn't always on the field. Kyron Williams is hopefully going to be able to carry the mantle. Blake Corum's there, but that's really it. Wide receiver room, I mean, obviously you've got guys, Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. The Texans, I just don't understand where this hype is coming that the Texans are all of a sudden going to turn it around. I like that they obviously added guys like Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel to a room that already included Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Tank Dell's out the year. So is Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon might be out 6 weeks. I'm sorry, not the year. So you're starting Nick Chubb. Good offensive line, not the best. Defense is good, not the best, but you've got a great pass rush. I'll give you that. So overall, good. I'll give the Texans this win because I think there's a little bit more to this Matt Stafford news than many people are willing to let on or fans are willing to accept. So for that reason, I'm going to slide in there with that Texans pick. Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo. It's at Buffalo, which is why I have a concern, but it's early in the year, so it's not ice cold yet. Now, when it comes to Baltimore, I do think Baltimore is going to be in the Super Bowl. That's probably going to be my official Super Bowl pick starting tomorrow, which I'll have that video out tomorrow. Josh Allen just doesn't have enough. And I hate to say that. The defense has pieces. You've got guys back. But when you really go to look at that offense, who you have a hurt Khalil Shakir. You have a Keon Coleman that hasn't really taken that next step. He might have taken it now. But from what I've seen, I haven't seen that yet. Running back room, I like James Cook. Do I love him? No, but he's a PPR demon. So that's going to be something. But to be honest, Baltimore's got a top flight defense. Regardless of what anybody wants to say, Baltimore's defense is going to be raw. So for that reason, I'm going with them. Dude, they had Mike Green, for God's sakes. The fact that he fell to that freaking team blows my mind. And it should blow every fan's mind for that matter. It is insane to me that he made it there. And not only that, but the Bills had was it Maxwell Hairston? The corner, and then he got hurt. Like, come on. You guys are cursed when it comes to secondary. And I'm sorry, Lamar's a much better passer. 41 touchdowns last year, so get out of here. I'm taking Baltimore in that one. And this one is J.J. McCarthy him sweepstakes. Vikings, Bears is going to be an interesting one that Monday night. I think the Bears roll. I think that there is going to be a chance that this game gets out of hand, akin to maybe 21-7 by half for the Bears. I could also see a scenario where Caleb Williams is not really churning the way he's supposed to. Again, he was sacked a crazy amount last year, and regardless of what people say, sacks are quickly becoming a quarterback stat, not an offensive line stat, because sometimes they just run into that shit. So I could absolutely see a scenario where it goes Vikings. But for me, I'm going to keep pounding the Bears. Again, the Bears being good in the NFL is good for the NFL. So for me, I'm going Bears. I just don't know J.J. McCarthy yet. If he comes out there and balls, I could completely flip moving forwards. But for this week one, I'm sticking with Chicago. So there you go. I picked him. Oh, no. There's still one left. Let me recap. Then we'll get to the elephant in the room. Okay? Fix my shirt a little bit for that Carolina pick. So obviously I'm taking Eagles. I'm taking Chiefs. I'm taking Bucks. I'm taking Bengals. I'm taking Dolphins. I'm taking New England. I'm taking the Cards. Jets, Commanders, Broncos, Niners, Lions, Texans, Ravens, and Bears. That means I think the overwhelming amount of home hosts will lose. That's an interesting one. That'd be an interesting bet to put out there. I might have to do this parlay. But okay, let's just get to the elephant in the room. We're talking about Carolina and Jacksonville. Carolina is a team that I am a diehard fan of. I've got stuff all around. Here's my Charlotte Sting poster over here. I mean, I'm a Duke fan. I'm Carolina everything, for sure. But this year, I'm concerned about a lot of places for Carolina's sake, to be honest with you. If you guys don't know, I break down every single press conference for the NFC South. Now, there's some where, they put out like a 2-hour press conference and everything like that. I don't touch the players or anything like that. I really like to stick to the coaches and really see what those coaches are saying about those teams. And of course, being a Carolina Panthers fan, I review and break down every single Dave Canales press conference. In fact, I even go in and watch and review and break down outside press conferences, like things where he meets with the media and everything like that, because they're still giving away information. So for that reason, I have concerns about where Carolina is in a lot of places. I have concern with the offensive line. That's been my concern. 3 of the 5 starters have had an injury since training camp, Robert Hunt tweaked his ankle and had to have it taped in, was it early July? Not Chandler Zavala, he's a backup. We'll get to him. Robert Hunt was the ankle. Damian Lewis, is dealing with the shoulder, still might not play. And of course, Ika Makwanu, who is quote unquote questionable for the game. So if that's the case, we're rolling Chandler Zavala at left tackle, another guy that's dealing with a partially torn patella right now. On top of that, we're getting Derek Brown. The defense, to be honest, for Carolina is the better of the two. But the problem is the head coach is an offensive guru. So we're in this weird scenario where I think the offense is fully run through Dave Canales, of course. But I don't know if he really feels like he has his guy. And I understand we're going to continue to go back to the Bryce, debate. But this is truly Dave Canales' life. This is how Dave Canales puts food on the table for his family. So he needs to figure this out. I don't care if it's Andy Dalton. I don't really give a shit if it's Hendon Hooker. I don't care if it's Bryce Young. He needs to be able to produce a competent offense, because what I saw in the few preseason moments that we saw with Bryce was abysmal at best and negligent at worst. So I'm genuinely in a weird place when it comes to Carolina. I'm real close to betting against Carolina and taking the Jags like 13.5. I could absolutely see a scenario where they're able to beat us through the passing game, which is where we have a little bit more of an issue. And you do have Travis Hunter, BTJ, and I think you guys. Now I'm just going to go pull it up. ESPN.com. NFL. I'm just going to go. I'm trying to think of who your other wide receiver was. De'Ami Brown. That's who it was. My bad. So, yeah, Travis Hunter, BTJ, De'Ami Brown. I don't love that for you guys. Parker Washington, Tim Patrick. You guys get really thin after these wide receivers. So we're really just going to have to cover BTJ because I don't think Travis translates just yet. Running back room is insane. Line, I'm concerned for you guys. So this could go either way. And again, defense, you guys have got some guys too. Travon Walker, Foyesade Oluokun. I like what you guys have. But really, how is it going to translate on the field? This is Liam Cohen's first year and everything like that. So for me, I'm just going to avoid this. I know I said I would probably bet 13.5, but I'm probably just going to – I'm not going to trust either way because I don't think that the Jaguars have a good enough offensive line and a good enough running back room to go after Carolina's best strength, which I believe is their defensive line and their defensive interior. Derek Brown, Bobby Brown, Turk. We've got dudes all over that line. I'm not worried about that at all. And no offense, our rookie, Cam Jackson. Go throw him in there on nose tackle. Dude's a beast. So overall, I'm avoiding this game 100%. I'll be watching it. I'll be streaming it for sure. But I am not going to I'm not betting that game. I do think Jacksonville will win. I do think the Carolina fans in general need to be prepared for a scenario, though I hope it is not a likely scenario, but there is a scenario where this team goes into the Cowboys game down, worst case, 5 wins. If that's the case, we went 0-5. That would be worst case scenario, of course. But how does the loss possibly to Jacksonville influence Bryce? How does the win possibly influence Bryce? I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to be finding out very, very soon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed coming by and hanging out. Sorry, that edible's kicking the shit out of me right now. Can't wait to see you guys. Like I said, I'm going to get that viewer league out to you guys. Make sure you check me at Roll Coverage Pod on YouTube. Cannot wait to see you guys. It is going to be a great one, a great season, and a great 100 teams for me to break down on the regular. Can't wait to see you guys. Hopefully you guys have a great night. Peace.